So I decided to make my own air filter because I needed to collect more fine particles out of my shop whenever I'm cutting wood. Here's the small air filter that I've been using. It's only an 11 by 12 inch Hunter. It's been very faithful and it has removed dust from the air, but it's not nearly got the volume. Before I show you what I came up with, let me show you why I have small dust in the air. Over here is some Baltic birch plywood that I bought. I bought 200 pieces. There are 100 pieces that were 48 by 19 and 100 pieces that were 60 inches by 11. I got this from a factory that creates this as scrap from their manufacturing process. But I had to buy an entire pallet, which was 2,200 pounds of plywood. This is what's left of it. I've used about a quarter of it. And I've done some things like making some shelves. So over here is a set of shelves that I made for all of my fluids in my basement. We're in my basement now. And over here is a set of shelves on another wall. It's got nuts and bolts and screws and things like that. So these were built into the wall. I'll show you one more project where I used some of the Baltic birch. Over here behind the bandsaw there's a closet, and in this closet is my fishing stuff. And here's some shelves that I stained so that I could stay organized over here. This actually has my sump pump in it. So when you cut the Baltic birch, you make a lot of fine dust. Here's some that I left on the bandsaw. This actually is not so bad. It's the stuff that gets up in the air that makes its way into your lungs that's bad. So my design was to try to come up with something that could either be floor mounted or could go in between two floor joists. So I'm in the basement, and so I have floor joists above my head. And so I decided to try to make a filtering system up there. So in this case, I'll look up, and you can see that like most basements, I have a set of floor joists here, and I can put something up in there, but it has to fit. So here's what it looks like made. I got a small blower for 40 bucks off of Craigslist. Nice guy. And the rest of it, you can imagine, is made out of Russian Baltic birch with a little bit of 6-inch ductwork. Now here's the filter I'm going to put into it. This is the first one I'll be using. It's a DuPont allergy filter. It's a MERS 10. Which is pretty affordable. When you go up in the higher numbers, they get more and more expensive. So this will slip into the filter like this. And as I go to plug this thing in, you got to go find the cord. This will be the first time the filter ran with a filter on it. Now it does make some noise. That's one of the things that I'm interested in. It's putting out a lot of air. Now the typical goal in something like this is to turn the entire room over about 5 times per hour. Well, I'm hanging on something there. Oh, one of those little ledges. The little ledges are to keep the vacuum from sucking the filter down. I got 1/3 horsepower Dayton motor. That little blower came out of something like a spray booth. I'm not really sure. Anyway, it's upside down right now. These will be attached to the joist. You have to flip it over to imagine it, and imagine the filter facing down towards the floor. In the alternative use, I'll use it in my garage where I'll stand it up on this end, and it'll be a room filter that's just standalone. So that's my homemade dust filter, and check back with me later and maybe I'll have some update on how it went. Thanks.